Peters. Right? Yeah, Peters and Brandon Peters. Host of the live podcast stage here at PopCon Indy 2024. This is our last day. Boo. Big sad. Big sad.
Hell no, we won't go.
Boo.
I'm mesmerized here.
AJ just over here going,
Hold off.
pretty. It's fine.
So, okay, we're going to kick off today with the actual full lineup of the Kinda Nerdy Girls. Is that event on the PopCon website? Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the first time we've had everyone, including Tia, who flew in from New York.
Yeah.
We're live streaming on Geek Vibes Nation. I know.
Respect.
This is a monumental moment for the Kinda Nerdy Girls. Thanks for being here, Olaf.
All right, so we got them. And then at 11, we have Outside of the Box. I think I'm reading that correctly. 12, Beyond the Dune Sea. 1 o'clock, The Fab, a podcast.
That doesn't like your shirt.
2 o'clock, Chris Spangle. And 3 o'clock, I will close up the stage with a fun game show called Poorly Described Movies with Chris Johnson of the Normies. Don't miss that. Woo. We're going to be giving away prizes and stuff. It's
Normies.
fun. So, huh? Yeah, see you in Louisville.
Oh, we're heading to Louisville at 4
Going
o'clock?
to, huh?
I might need to take more PTO for that.
There you go.
Focus, guys, focus. One thing
All
at a
right,
time.
without further ado, I present you the Kinda Nerdy Girls.
Wait, let me see music. Kinda nerdy.
Hang on. Yep, hang on. Let me do it again. 2, 1. Kinda Nerdy Girls Podcast. Thank you. John Barrowman actually asked me not to sing yesterday after I did, so I apologize, John, if you heard my voice here at PopCon. I told him you wouldn't want to hear it. And he was like, you were right. You were right.
He said you were correct. I should have listened.
So this is the Kinda Nerdy Girls. We are random fandom fun. We are kinda nerdy because we don't get too deep into any of the canon stuff. Doesn't mean we don't get fired up about things, because boy do we.
Yes.
Boy do we ever.
And now we're all in person, so I feel like it's going to be like 10 times more intense.
Yes, and it is a little emotional for us today, and my voice is cracking because I'm going to cry.
She's so sad.
My voice is cracking because I've talked too much. We have Tia from Geek Vibes Nation. Mic, Tia.
Okay.
It's your mic.
Okay.
There we go.
Definitely like right before the world ended.
Yeah. It's our first time having Tia with us on the podcast in person. It's our first time being together as human beings in person. So big show for us. We have absolutely loved having you here with us all weekend. Want to give everybody a little idea of what's been going on here at PopCon. And I actually want to start by, we've been raising money. We've got Elijah Wood here, Andy Serkis is here, Sala Baker is here. The Lord of the Rings stars are in Indianapolis right now for PopCon. How freaking cool is this?
Yes.
So I want everybody to share a little story of their weekend. I'm going to start with mine, even though usually I go around the room and let everybody else talk, because this is so, okay, listen, you guys. So I'm doing the Andy Serkis panel yesterday. I was up at 3 a.m. like, I'm going to screw this up. I'm going to throw up on stage. I'm going to sit there and stare at him and not know anything to say to him. I'm going to run. I'm going to run off. Like, literally was having the biggest panic attack of interviewing someone in my life, which is weird because,
You literally interview people.
All I do is talk to people, and they're all just people, right? Like, that's what's beautiful about these interviews. It's like you realize, oh, that's just a person, but not 3 a.m. yesterday. I'm like, Andy Serkis is not just a person. Andy Serkis is everything, and I'm going to screw this up.
It's Andy Serkis, okay?
He was a freaking delight. Everybody in the panel had such a good time. But we, of course, someone, when we went to the Q&A, asked him about Gollum's voice. I cannot make this crap up, you guys. I did not know this. And he actually asked, like, who in the room knows this story already? And there were like maybe a handful of people. He's like, oh, good. Like, I get to tell this to a bunch of people that know it. When he was trying to figure out how Gollum should sound, and he was like in his head for days and like going around the house and trying to figure it out, his cat walked in the room and had a hairball. I want you to think about Gollum now. and like how Gollum moves and like what a cat does when they have a hairball, because it has literally changed Lord of the Rings for me for the rest of my life. I was like, is this really happening? Am I finding out that Gollum is a cat?
Yes. Yeah. He just said my life has been changed for the rings now.
Ooh. You know, Katie, I did a rewatch before. For me, it was never that I didn't like Lord of the Rings. I don't like things that like run longer than 3 hours. I have an issue, and so like
that's fair.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this because you'll watch a TV show and you'll watch like 8 episodes. Netflix is like, are you still watching really? And you're like, yeah, don't judge me. I don't know why it's different when it's a movie. Like if I can watch 8 episodes in a row of a TV show, why can't I watch all of the Lord of the Rings? So I put that aside and I did a rewatch, and I was like, you know what? I do really, really do like Lord of the Rings. This is wonderful.
There you go.
And then he's sitting there and he's talking about this whole cat thing. And I'm like, this is not about me right now. And he doesn't know how much I love cats. He doesn't know I'm the kitty correspondent for Pet Pals TV. I cannot have the response I want to have right now about, oh my God, you're changing my life because Gollum's a cat. So I wanted to share it with you guys right now because it literally, I walked off stage and Carl from PopCon was like, I really expected more from you when he was talking about Gollum as a cat. I was like, it's not about me. It was about the audience and getting their questions in. And now I'm going to freak out. So Andy, that was my PopCon moment.
Andy, if you're listening, you changed KJ's life, okay?
And he's a cat guy. And so if you guys are watching and you're a Lord of the Rings fan and you're a cat fan, you need to get your selfie and autograph with Andy today. But we also have these really amazing art cards, and it's 50 original art cards from the Lord of the Rings, from the set. These are officially licensed through Conquest Journals. They gave them to us so that we could raise money for indie neighborhood cats, and we're selling them. They're retail $25. We're selling them for $5, and 100% goes to indie neighborhood cats. So you can get your collectible Lord of the Rings art cards today over at the Kinda Nerdy Girls booth. If you want to get them right now, like literally come up when we're done and give me $5, and I will give you one of these things. But again, I'm like, how is this all coming together that we're doing a Lord of the Rings fundraiser for indie neighborhood cats, and Andy Serkis is telling me that Gollum's a cat? This is amazing. This was all meant to be.
Isn't the universe a crazy thing?
Yes.
The stars are aligning.
So I want to go to, we do a gaming update every episode on the Kinda Nerdy Girls, and Katie is, we call her Gamer Katie, and since Tia has joined the show, she's a gamer too, and we had some really cool guests here at PopCon that made for an incredible gaming experience this weekend that you can still have because it's the last day here at PopCon. So we're going to turn it over. It's boop, 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 boop. It's time for Gamer Katie's update. It's a gaming update with Gamer Katie and Tia. Boop, 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 boop.
And Tia.
And Tia.
Yeah, I think PopCon, it stole all the Rockstar stars this year, because not only do we have the 2 main characters from Red Dead Redemption and 1 and 2, Rob Wiedoff and Roger Clark, who played John and Arthur. They're here. We also have 2 of the main guys from GTA 5, Michael DeSanta and Franklin, who is Ned Luke and Sean Fontano. And they both did panels yesterday. Tia and I did the GTA panel together.
I was so happy about that. Like, oh my God. But the panels were like super easy because Ned and Sean, like, they're professionals. They were like, oh no, we'll pick who asks questions. And I was like, that's cool.
I'm going to be really honest. I feel like I haven't done anything all weekend.
Wow, I want to switch places with you.
Every panel I've had, they just take the reins, and there's a million questions from fans, and it's not about me, like you said, right? I'm just here to make sure everybody plays nice, and they're so nice, and they're so, like, they get it in the same way that the fans get it, right? Like, this is important to them, so it's important to them, you know?
Yes.
And the questions are hilarious, and their responses are hilarious, and it's so casual and so comfortable that, like, they've played these games themselves. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's so fun, and it's been so nice to see people just like the magic in people's eyes when they're like, "Oh, you're real," you know.
Well, and I think this was a testament to PopCon being a pop culture convention, not just a Comic-Con. Like everything is covered here. Is that everybody that comes here knows that there's all these different fandoms that are coming together, and we love, like, we don't care if your fandom is anime and I don't know anything about anime. I don't care that you don't know anything about darts and darts is here. I'll teach you about darts. Like, there's just like,
And the darts crew is amazing.
hasn't it been so cool? Yes.
You know, I was very anti-darts, as we know.
Have we turned you around?
Because darts is a lot of math, okay? And math,
One who got a bullseye.
yeah, but it didn't
That's what I'm
count
saying.
towards your score, so
It was in the warm up.
I beat both of them twice yesterday. So.
Oh yeah, I sucked.
I mean, this is a shocking turn of events that Jana is the darts girl on the podcast because she has been, I think because I've shoved it down her throat so much, she's like, don't tell me what to like.
So you take after me now.
Oh, I've always been like that with KJ. She's like, you should like Harry Potter. And I'm like, well, I won't like it just because you said so.
You know what? The darts guys are Harry Potter fans. So if you're going to be a darts player, Jana, you're going to have to watch Harry Potter.
But I'm not going to be like, see, I can like darts and not like necessarily like do what they do, which is like compete like competitively, obviously. Like I can like darts and be bad at it.
I don't know. You may have a future.
You know, Patty's going to have to help me brush up a little bit on my aim, you know. Are there any left-handed dart players out there?
There are. Yes, there are.
I'm going to need a left-handed one to show me like how to do it because like I think everybody over there is right-handed.
So I tell you what, I bet when the Championship Darts Corporation has their main event weekend in Brownsburg at the American Legion, like they're all going to be there because they're competing.
Yeah.
And also, Jana, you could throw your take your chance and enter for the qualifiers to be at Madison Square Garden for the U.S. Darts Masters, and maybe you'll maybe you'll have a day and you'll be like, look me, that was the best darts I've ever thrown, and now I'm going to New York.
Do it.
But yes, there will be left-handed players there that can help you.
Okay, yeah, because it's a little hard being a lefty when everyone else is like gosh, I don't remember who it was. He was a very nice man.
I have my Ghostbusters leaving. Shout out to the Ghostbusters.
Bye,
Thanks for
guys.
coming by, guys.
Thanks but for literally, like yesterday when I was throwing, I was like, "Are you left-handed?" I was like, "Yeah." It was like, "Ooh." Like that's the hardest thing about being left-handed is when they're like, "Oh, are you left-handed?" Yeah, everybody's like, "Ooh." I'm like, I'm not like a Martian or something. Like, I mean, there's a lot of left-handers out there.
Can I tell you guys what I associate darts with?
Yes, please.
Okay, don't hate me.
I could never.
The only like acknowledgement I ever had in darts in my life before this was that scene from, was it Princess Diaries 2 with Chris Pine? Where he's talking about, I can get a bullseye every time and I can prove it to you. And he just screams and runs at the board and sticks it in there by himself. Yes. So the entire time I was like, man, I should just do that,
Okay, we're going to need you to reenact that over here on the darts board. I get a bullseye every time. I want you
The entire time we were over there throwing darts, that's what I was thinking of.
You should have did that yesterday. I mean, you were freaking leaning over the thing
I didn't
yesterday.
realize you were allowed to lean.
She was
almost
so
like
shook.
You're like halfway there already.
Oh my god,
It makes a huge difference.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
All right, Jana, is there anything besides, darts that is, I love that darts was the highlight of your PopCon. What else for you? Because we've been doing panels, and the thing is, we love Jana because she makes sure that we have everything that we need.
Yep.
She's getting video footage of the panels. I just said like, hey, I need you to put on social media that we're streaming on Geek Vibes Nation. Like, Jana's keeping everything going so that we can be like running around and doing all this
May I
crazy
take a
stuff.
guess as to what your favorite part has been so far?
Yes.
Dante Bosco.
You know what? Dante, if you can hear me, I'm gonna come talk to you. I actually have not talked to Dante at all since I've been here because I've been following you guys around. And so, like, I haven't been.
Let's put it on us.
I haven't gotten a chance to talk to Dante, so but there's been a lot of stuff going on. I'll say the highlight of my PopCon has probably been, not to get all sentimental or anything, but Tia being here, because,
we're gonna cry.
Are you
Yes,
saying
we're gonna be
Yes, Johnny, you're my favorite. So.
No, I'm not saying that. No, because like the first time we ever podcasted with Tia, like I just knew immediately that she was gonna be my friend. Like, and then after we've done a few videos together and stuff like that, and then when she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna come to PopCon," I was like, "Oh, well, you're gonna be staying with me because like KJ and Patches are gonna be downtown," and like immediately as soon as I picked her up from the airport, it was like we had known, like it wasn't like we were meeting each other for the first time.
And we talked about that too. That's not always the case.
Yeah.
I've done a thing where like I had a friend that I'd never met in person, and she's like, "When you come to California, you should stay with me." And it was like, I mean, it was good, but it was totally weird, like different vibe when we were together. And I said to Tia, I'm like, I don't mean this in a bad way, but like, it just like, it feels like you should be here. It's not like, oh my God, you're finally in person. It feels like you've always just been here.
Yeah, literally. Like, and Tia's been staying at my house with me and the cats, and so like, and I mean, the boys love her, obviously. Sox is trying to get in her bag and go back to New York. So it's been really fun for me to like, and as she's a first time PopCon goer, it's just been really fun to like show her around and show her all the fun things. And she's like, "This is so cool. Like, it's so fun."
Well, and I wanted to ask you about that, Tia, because I had a little bit of nerves about you coming here and what you would think, because you do New York Comic Con, right? And I'm like, in my heart, all the cons that I have gone to all over the world that I've been able to travel to, and people are like, "What's your favorite?" And I'm like, I'm not saying this because it's in my hometown. PopCon is the best convention. It really is. And then I'm like, man, Tia's coming from New York Comic Con. I hope I haven't built it up too much. So your honest thoughts on what it has been like to come to PopCon, the pop culture convention.
Honestly, it's been amazing. First of all, Jonna has been a most gracious host, so I do have to give that as a shout out. Thank you. But you've all been just so amazing, as you said. It feels as if we've always known each other in person, and I'm very thankful for that. PopCon is amazing, right? Like, I was telling Jonna, like, yes, New York Comic Con is huge. It's not as if New York doesn't have, like, smaller conventions, right? The thing is, like, at New York Comic Con, you can't just go up to and Roger Clark and Rob Weedoff and just be like, "Hey, how are you doing?" Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's New York Comic Con. First of all, it is very crowded. And, like, wow, you can walk, guys, and, like, breathe and everything. This is amazing.
You can breathe.
It's so nice. Like, everyone is very chill. It's not an anxiety. Like, listen, I love New York Comic Con. I go every year, but sometimes you're like, oh, God, I got to, like, move past everyone and everything. This is very cool. I love seeing, like, not to hype them up again, but I love seeing things like the darts, guys.
Yeah, the darts.
Like, you never know what you're going to expect at a convention. You go and you're like, games, movies, anime, darts.
There's also a hot sauce stand around here.
And wrestling.
Hot sauce.
And we've got wrestling here too.
We got wrestling here. We need to go over and see the wrestling.
Yeah, definitely.
And so many like those types of activities that you can experience. It's not just shopping and now I got to go get an autograph and go to a panel.
Yeah.
You're like, do you want to go do laser tag real quick?
You want to do an escape room, right?
Oh my God, we still have to do the escape room, guys.
We do have to do the escape room.
PopCon has been amazing, and I was saying to John, I was like, I want to come next year. And it's like, should I go to the Indianapolis one or should I go to the Louisville one next year? Like, I'm very excited for PopCon. This is an amazing thing, and I've been excited for years to come.
Well, I mean, you could always come to PopCon Louisville in August and not wait a whole year.
Oh, it's in August?
Yeah.
Oh,
August 23rd through the 25th, I found out.
I don't know if you can hear that on the stream, but they're welcoming us to PopCon Day 3 right now. So
I did want to say, and Jonna pointed out,
are we supposed to be quiet when they talk? We don't know the rules, Brandon.
Right,
I'm from New York, all right? I make my own rules.
Tia doesn't even stop at crosswalks, okay?
All right? My fellow New Yorkers, come on.
She's been jaywalking, and we've been stopping her.
Lana was like, the cops right there. I'm like, you guys get tickets for jaywalking?
Yes, that's the thing.
So Jonna pointed out that I say this a lot where I'm like, can I say this really quick? Let me say this really quick. Like, to go back on what Katie and I were talking before. It was so cool meeting the Rockstar people and all that. And I have to say, they're all just so like amazingly into their characters. Roger Clark is a champ. He knows exactly what people are coming here for, because I was standing around hearing him interact with every fan. Every single picture, he's like, Lenny!
I mean, it is the best scene, but
he knows like what people are there for and everything. Like, Rob is amazingly humble. Ned and Sean are great. Roger's just like, I know what you're here for.
Well, and I think there's something like so cool about being able to like meet those guys and be like, oh my gosh, they love this as much as I do. Maybe in a different way because they created it, they're part of it, but they still are a fan, just like me, right? I mean, that was in the Arrow panel yesterday. I mean, there were a few moments, like honestly, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna cry. Like, you guys love this so much.
Yeah.
They were so passionate. They're like, I literally was like, no wonder this was such a great show.
Yeah.
These are amazing human beings.
Yeah. And it's so great to like, because like they said, it's been like forever since like all of them had gotten together, and like, it was so, it's like, how when we haven't seen each other for a really long time, it's like, damn, I missed you, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just so good to see that like all that chemistry that we were seeing like on camera wasn't fake, and that they're all actually like actual friends in real life. Like it's like seeing a family come together. It's just it's been very emotional here at PopCon.
It has. And also my goal today, because I was so glad, and I said it out loud, it was like the one time I had a fangirl moment while I was moderating, was Colton Haynes loves his cat, loves his cat.
Yes.
And he brought it up, and I was like, did I just say that out loud? I literally said, I was so hoping you talk about your cat. I'm like, whoops.
I did the same thing with Rob Weedoff. You're like, hey, by the way, tell me about your new cat.
So, I mean, not to plug other things on the Kind of Nerdy Network, but I started my podcast, The Cat Conversation, which I've been talking about forever, and it's been in my head. And I'm like, why do I not
talking about cats forever anyway?
Why don't I have a podcast talking about cats? So my goal today, if you're listening, Colton, I want to interview Colton, not just because he loves his cat, but because yesterday in the panel when he was talking about it, it was a really emotional moment.
Yeah.
There was a young girl, a fan, who was talking about how during a really dark time in her life where she had suicidal thoughts, Arrow felt like her family. They were her family. They got her through. And and she asked them, what do you do when things get dark for you? And he, without missing a beat, he was like cat, right? There's so much love and good energy that comes from that. And I was like, people need to know, cat people need to know that guy loves cats.
Yeah,
he loves cats. And that he has a colony outside. He has 8 outdoor cats as well.
Yeah. And his cat is super jealous of the fact that he goes out and feeds these other cats.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. So, he was going on, and I was like, he needs to be featured on Pet Pals TV. He needs to be on the Cat Conversation. So I have a whole plan for you today, Colton. I hope you don't mind.
Well, I know we're going to end up wrapping up here soon, but we haven't heard a lot from Katie.
Oh.
Katie, what was your favorite part about PopCon this year?
Pass.
No, you have to talk.
I don't know. I really enjoy I enjoy the panels because I don't have to do anything, which is great.
True.
But on the flip side, to your point earlier, that these guys that do Rockstar games do it for 4+ years, right? And it's a role. You're motion capturing, you're acting, you're doing the voice parts, you're doing all this kind of stuff, and you have to use a certain amount of imagination because there's nothing in the room, right? So, and yet they can sit here 6 years, 8 years, 10 years after this game came out and still rattle off every line they knew, every favorite section, which endings they like, those kind of things. And it's cool to me to see people who are like, oh, I just want to know what your favorite line is or your favorite moment or the hardest thing it was to film. And they can rattle it off without even thinking. They know it as well, if not better, than the people who have just obsessed over this game since it came out.
Yeah.
Katie, has there been any particular cosplay that you've enjoyed at PopCon?
I mean, I've not eyeballed too many because I've been busy, but there's
You don't like
Olaf is great, right?
you don't like anything with like a bell that's going on?
Oh yeah, you know what?
No.
You really like
So,
that was going on with a bell. I don't know.
and I don't get it, right? I don't get it, and I don't want to say it out loud because then they're gonna come after me. But like,
I kind
there's
of
a
want
Star
that
Wars
to
troop
happen.
roaming around with a bell, and they're shaming people. Shaming is from Game of Thrones, and so I don't see the connection. I don't get it, right? And then they like take people back to Star Wars jail over there. But like,
But the thing is, Katie, at PopCon, all the fandoms come together,
Right?
so you can't do that.
but I'm like, okay, how does Game of Thrones tie into Star Wars? And I've been like thinking about it because I saw him at Louisville too, and I saw him at other conventions. I'm like, what is it? I don't
Katie,
understand.
we can just go down there and ask them.
I'm not going to
Yeah, well,
because then I'm gonna get involved. And then
could someone from the 501st please come to the podcast stage? Katie has a question for you.
No.
Run.
I do want to mention we got some new people coming by as we wrap up. We're the Kind of Nerdy Girls. We're part of the Kind of Nerdy Network. We have several podcasts. We have the KJ Today Show. I have the Cat Conversation. Jana does her book club. I feel like at some point Katie and Tia are gonna like spin off their own gaming thing.
As you should.
We don't have the energy.
Literally, we similar to PopCon. We are a community for the fans. Like we have 1,300 people in our group, and knock on wood, I never have to moderate anything. People are so nice, and if somebody says, "Hey, are you playing this game?" and nobody gets any comments, immediately someone will be like, "Hey, I don't know what that is. Will you tell me about it?" Like it's just such a cool group. So, kindofnerdynetwork.com will get you into our crew, and then if you would help us raise a little bit of money for cats, do you want a Lord of the Rings collage kit? Bring it up. We got $5. Yay, Sally. Thank you. Come on up, man. These Lord of the Rings collage kits, they're 50 art cards. Oh, thank you. That was 20. Thank you so much.
The cats will thank you. So we need to give some of these to like Elijah Wood and Sala and.
I get so nervous because people give them stuff, but yeah, we do need to do that. So our booth is 197. We do have a few of them here, but we literally want to like raise as much money as we can. And if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, there's nothing else here that you can get that's this awesome. That's only $5.
Yeah.
And it goes to a good cause.
Let me tell you, cats love two things: Lord of the Rings and money.
Well, listen, now that we know that Gollum was a cat, how can you not support cats and get your Lord of the Rings collage kit?
Right.
You have to
almost
now.
have to.
It's
All right.
the rules.
Thank you, guys. Oh my gosh, yay! Take your Lord of the Rings kit. Hi, Chris from PopCon. Are you having the best PopCon ever? Okay, awesome, yay! Thank you to Chris and Carl, everybody, seriously, they're amazing. They're local, guys. When you come to PopCon, you're supporting local people who love fandom as much as you. They put their heart into everything. I don't know what's happening now.
Brandon's back here.
Oh, there we
Wrap
go.
up.
Right, Brandon's trying to give us the hook.
The wrap up.
He's like, get out of here.
Wrap it up.
Geek Vibes Nation, thank you for watching with us. We're the Kind of Nerdy Girls. We love PopCon. We'll be back for Louisville. We'll be back next year, and we hope to see you. This has been the Kind of Nerdy Girls.
Kind of Nerdy Girls podcast.